In today's video, we will unpack what is ESG and why it matters for more and more businesses out there. Chances are, if you are watching this video, you are the lucky one who's leading ESG efforts in your company. And if so, my goal over here is to help you educate yourself about all things ESG and figure out how high on the priority list ESG should be for your business. Welcome back to your Impact House. After a short break of launching an online program for sustainability managers and leaders on ESG strategy know-how, I'm back and I'm here to share with you everything you need to know about ESG. If this is your first time here, really nice to meet you. My name is Christine. I'm the founder and sustainability advisor at Your Impact House. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos that are going to be focusing very much on the topic of ESG and how you can make the most out of the journey. Let's get started by clarifying what is ESG. ESG is a framework. It's a set of criteria for assessing a company's impact and performance on areas related to environmental protection, social responsibility, and company governance. In its essence, ESG aims to help identify risks and opportunities in the fast-changing business environment. The framework is also commonly used by financial institutions and investors to compare and assess the non-financial performance and potential risks of company. The idea behind ESG is to start measuring what matters, and by doing that, start building a more sustainable economy, the one that doesn't really run out and supports human well-being and also doesn't harm the environment and leaves a planet to live on also for the next generations. What's important is that ESG framework, general umbrella term, is not the same thing as an ESG standard. ESG, as mentioned, is a broad umbrella term for how the information is structured into environmental, social, and governance aspects, and the topics that are covered in each of the sections. ESG standards, on the other hand, provide specific, detailed, and replicable requirements and rules for what should be reported for each topic, including specific metrics, KPIs, and how this data can be collected, reported, published, and compared among companies. Some of the most common ESG standards include GRI, SASB, and CSRD here in Europe. In most cases, businesses use a specific ESG standard based on their business goals. For example, if they need to comply with CSRD, they'll rely heavily on this directive and this standard. Meanwhile, if a business is taking its first steps in making their report auditable and more transparent and reputable, it will probably use GRI. Whether a specific ESG standard applies to your business depends on factors like full-time employee count, headquarter location and local legislation, annual turnover, etc. So to recap, ESG is an umbrella term that we use to describe environmental, social, and governance as a concept. And then there are ESG standards that are more specific requirements for what exactly should be measured, in what kind of metrics, how it should be reported, and where. Now the real question is, why does it even matter? And that why is going to look completely different for each business. From what I've learned along the way, one of the keys to successfully start and consistently continue the company's ESG journey is having a clear understanding of those whys, and having that understanding on all levels of leadership team. But usually it's a combination of a few factors. There is risk management, investor appeal, a regulatory compliance, market competitiveness, and employee attraction and retention, just to name a few. There are plenty more, and it all depends on where your business is on its journey to growing and developing, what kind of customers do you serve, where you are based, what is the size, what is the industry, so many different factors. If company understands the ESG risks that threaten their business, it also has a chance to mitigate those risks and reduce the financial loss, the reputational damage, and also legal issues along the way. But we can also look at ESG from the market competitiveness perspective. Companies with a robust ESG practices often have a competitive edge. They can differentiate themselves, they can charge a premium, they can essentially position themselves as market leaders. This competitive edge is not something that is easily replicable. It takes time to integrate ESG aspects into the business. So those businesses that are investing in that now are already a few steps ahead of the market. I think you get the idea. And the more you're going to look into those reasons of why, the more arguments you will be able to find yourself to prepare a compelling argument to the leadership team that you need to get on board to invest more time and resources into ESG projects. So should your business start taking ESG more seriously? The answer lies in the business reasons to do so. As much as we might care on a personal level to create a positive change with the work we do, it's an absolute necessity to have clarity on what business goals ESG would actually support. If your company is planning to expand, raise investment, attract a lot of new employees, move into B2B segment where you're going to be selling to larger organizations, then ESG is probably going to have to be on your agenda. And I'm not even mentioning the fact that here in Europe, we now have CSRD, and that means that the larger businesses have to get their ducks in order. And if you're the person who's leading the ESG efforts internally, I really hope this was useful. If you have any questions or suggestions for the upcoming topics of the videos, just leave them in the comments. I'm always curious to hear what your takeaways are. Make sure to subscribe because there will be more videos on all about ESG in the upcoming months. Thank you for watching. See you around.